Welcome to Las Vegas, or what feels like New England today, Evan. You would have thought with this weather that we were right back in Massachusetts for practice.
Absolutely. I'm trying not to look cold right now. It's a little cold out here, but I thought Troy Brown, the head coach of the West team, made a really good point that in the NFL, these players, whether it's New England, Buffalo, he mentioned the Jets, of course, it's not always going to be Miami, right? It's not always going to be sunshines and rainbows, so they're going to have to be able to handle the weather today. The offense didn't handle the weather particularly well, or didn't handle practice and a couple of interceptions, and Troy Brown seemed a little bit disappointed with the way that his offense performed.
It was nice to see the defense walk away with a big day, especially Trey Dean with 2 interceptions, as you mentioned, they came away with, and they didn't have to do push-ups at the end.
Yeah, first time they haven't had to do push-ups, but Dean from Florida, a safety that typically plays closer to the line of scrimmage, but today he was playing deep safety a little bit more and showing off his skills back there. Made a really good interception up the seam on Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the UCLA quarterback, who's thrown the ball really well out here the last couple of days. A really good read by Dean, and he's somebody that stood out to everybody here, I think, today.
Evan, I talked to Trey Dean after practice, and he actually gave a lot of credit to the defensive line. He said without that, he wouldn't have gotten those 2 picks.
Spoken like a true defensive back, good teammate right there. And I thought both defensive lines on the East and the West team were out at East practice this morning as well. Really dominated up front, and I think that that's something that stands out to teams when they get to see these guys up close and personal. You hear the contact, you see the technique, the handwork, and all that type of stuff. It really seemed like the defensive line had a little bit of the edge on the offensive line in the padded practices that we've seen.
That wraps up the East-West Shrine Bowl practices here at UNLV. We'll be back with more coverage from the Raiders practice facility. For Evan Lazar and Tamara Brown, stay tuned for more content this week.